Kim, and let me ask you who you are. Present yourself to the crowd.
I'm Kim Barnes. I'm the CEO of Barnes & Conti Associates, and I'm the developer of Exercising Influence.
And I'm Françoise Descleves, and I'm one of the two managing directors of Equoranda, based in France, and we are one of the distributors of Exercising Influence in Europe.
Okay.
Let me share with you one question from our participants of the last Exercising Influence workshop. This question is how to deal with non-verbal to really be efficient on influence. Okay.
Yes, we were talking about this a little earlier, and you mentioned that the person who asked the question was a senior sales representative, right?
Yeah.
And presumably he wanted to influence some customers.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, okay. So when it comes to nonverbal behavior, first of all, you have expressive nonverbal behavior, where you're sending meaning out to other people through your body. And then there is also receptive nonverbal behavior, where you are listening to and drawing other people out and inviting them to take action. And so both of these are absolutely appropriate. And the most important thing is for your nonverbal behavior to match your verbal behavior, so you're sending the same message and not confusing people by sending a double message. Yeah.
And do you have some examples, some concrete, situations of appropriate nonverbal behaviors?
Well, for example, if what you want to do is get your customer to give you some information, so you really want to use receptive behaviors, but yet you are standing up and your customer is sitting down, and you are spending time making suggestions and proposals, then it will be very difficult. If you look as if you're about to give a speech, it would be very difficult for the customer to feel that you really are interested in what he or she has to say. So it might be really more effective if you were to sit down and be at the same level as your customer, and perhaps lean toward your customer when you ask a question about what he or she is looking for, needs, or what concerns or issues they have. So that in that way your nonverbal behavior is completely aligned with what you're saying, and so it's more likely to be effective.
I remember there was another question regarding nonverbal from one of the participants. He said, should I go to the person's desk I want to influence, or should I ask him or her to come to my desk?
Well, it actually depends quite a bit on the power balance. So, for example, if you are more powerful, let's say, in the organization than the person you want to influence, but you don't want to use power, you really want the person to choose to take an action voluntarily, then it's probably better if you move into their area. Okay, so that they are sitting where they're comfortable and you are coming to them, which makes you a guest, and it evens the power balance a bit. And so I think about things like that. I also think about where we sit in relation to one another. So if I sit directly across from you, or invite you to sit directly across from me at my desk or at a table, then we're in a position where we're kind of confronting each other, perhaps. So if we don't have a very easy, comfortable relationship, the other may feel a little defensive. Whereas if we sit at an angle to one another, the way we're sitting now, so we turn slightly toward one another, again, that creates a more comfortable feeling, and I think creates that sense of two-way influence that we really try to get across.
The influence provides many tools to people to prepare, to plan, and to execute their influence. Some participants ask, what to start with?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, the best thing to start with is to ask yourself, what is it that I really want to have happen? So if you think about the influence framework, and you think about the idea of goals as being the lower left-hand corner of that framework, the results that you're looking for, that's really the most useful place to start. So you say, well, I want to influence Françoise, but how will I know that I've been successful? So what is it that I want to see? What action do I want Françoise to take? If I don't start there, I'm not sure I'll ever be successful, because I have to be clear about what it is that I want to influence her to do. So that's, for me, the best place to start. Then it's good. So starting with the results, then it's useful to take a look at the relationship. Is it ready? Are we already successfully influencing one another, or is there some work to do? Maybe I don't know you as well as I know others, and perhaps it would be worth spending some time getting to know more about you and what you're interested in and who you are and what your goals are and all that kind of thing. Maybe there's been some trouble in the past between our two teams. Maybe even you and I have had a difficult time. I should probably take some time to make that right before I start trying to influence you. So the relationship is important. And then understanding the context. And all of those things, and really, I think almost always in that order, is a useful way to think about influence and to prepare. Sometimes you have a long time to do this, and you can do an elaborate plan, because all of that comes together and suggests an approach. But sometimes you have 2 minutes while you're walking towards someone's desk or picking up the phone or starting to write an email. And if you just think, what are the results I want? What's the condition of the relationship? And what are some things in the context for that person, for the organization, outside in the real world that I have to keep in mind? What are those things? That's the direction I like to take.
Yeah, and what I like to tell the participants is that it's a win-win. It's a two-way influence. So think of the other when you set your objective of influence.
Absolutely.
That's what you said, huh?
Because if you are not satisfied with the result, then the next time I want to influence you, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
So it has to be two-way. It won't always be something that you originally thought that you wanted to do. But my goal might be to influence you to see that there's value for you in doing it. Whether it's because I'm willing to exchange something with you, or because I can show you what the benefit might be, or there's a need of yours that I've identified that I'm willing to help you with, and you'll do it in exchange. There are a lot of ways to do it. But if you're not taking that action willingly, and because you see it as either in your interest or at a minimum not against your interest, then I won't be successful in influencing you in the future.
Thank you, Kim.